Well, today on Seth Said What, we have a special guest from coming hot from Miami.
Yeah.
Just kidding. This is Chad Johnson
Hey
joining
everybody.
Daniel in Chattanooga.
That's right.
That is great. And this is actually Chatham, Miami. Just yeah,
Never heard that.
just don't tell anybody. But
That's
it's
so great. Chad's become a friend over the last year or so.
18 years.
18 years.
Yep.
Yep.
We go way back.
Back in grade school.
We started our friendship talking about Seth Godin. It's so weird. A full circle moment.
Seth is in everything. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. No, but it is funny because I literally listened to the most recent time I listened to him was actually walking from where I parked my car, like 2 blocks from here, down to the little the little event they did here in town like 2 weeks ago, and it was like all that where I saw you last.
Yeah. Extreme sports, like
Yeah.
people ramping off into the river. That's the kind of town Chattanooga is. And
That's
what
like
you were
a
listening to?
Yeah,
Seth
it was a
Godin?
big Red Bull thing, and I had my AirPods in, and I was listening to Seth Godin. So that's so
That's
funny.
crazy. Well, what's so cool is right now there's a void in the Seth Godin podcast world that we
Okay.
are filling. So
Nice.
he stopped doing the Akimbo podcast. And to my knowledge, we're the only like daily or weekly Seth
Nice.
Godin.
Oh wow.
So we're bringing out Seth Said What Nation. It's called Seth Said What. We love that you're here and that Chad is here.
It's called Daniel, it's called Seth Said What?
Seth
So
said,
we gotta have
oh, that's
Chad.
true. Here's your initiation. You gotta say Seth Said What.
Seth said what?
There it is.
I was so concerned that my voice was just gonna immediately teenage crack. Yeah,
That's so good.
we made it.
So good.
So like
That's
for just
awesome.
another split second, how do we like talk about what's the like 30 seconds of your career?
Man.
I know how I would brag about you.
Well, I've been I am on the job hunting journey.
Okay.
And so one of the issues that I have is that I've done so much that everyone I talk to for advice, they're like, what's the one problem that you solve?
Oh.
And I'm like, ooh, what is the one problem that I've solved? And so the way I would say it is, I have been solving problems in the area of attention deficit for brands, artists, and nonprofits. So basically helping drive attention.
Ooh, that's strong,
Yeah, thank
Chad.
you. That's fresh. That like literally came together like 2 seconds ago. So
Nice.
yeah,
Dude.
No, I've been thinking about it this morning because that is the most recent. But I really have been seeking clarity because I haven't had it, and I think it's a really valid question. Like,
So say it again. So
let me see if it'll come out as good.
Okay.
I have been solving the problem of attention deficit for brands. What did I say? Brands, artists, and nonprofits.
Yeah.
Throughout my last 15 plus. No one wants you to say 20 or more because then that lets everyone know I'm 51, and I guess they're just gonna automatically like, oh,
We'll cut that from the record,
run.
okay?
I don't quite give any to, I don't know. I won't swear in the podcast. I don't care. And I feel like anyway,
Yeah.
it's been fun to get clarity, and Seth has helped me work through some of that clarity and just the importance of it. So yeah.
Oh,
Wow. That's awesome.
that is
This is
awesome.
so weird. This is so random because you
I
guys
love it.
could have picked any topic and I probably would have been like, well, that doesn't really relate or that much to me. And the fact that this is a Seth Godin, it's like,
Yeah,
wow,
that's what we talk about every day.
That is so great.
Okay, so
I'm
with
gonna start
that,
listening now. You have a new fan, a new listener.
the new listener,
new
welcome
sub,
to Seth
a new
Said What
sub.
Nation.
Yay!
I'm trying that out.
Yes, Seth Said What
Every time I
Nation.
say it, I'm like, ugh. But yeah. So
Right.
he that's a great summation. And
Yeah, I
as I
better write it down before I forget.
Yeah,
actually,
take that and
now that you guys
we're transcribing, so we
Yeah.
also captured that.
Well, it'll
for
be
you.
recorded on the internet, so you won't be able to forget it. Now the whole
that's
world
true,
knows.
that's true.
Chad.
Forever.
Let's go into Notes app. Oh, never mind. Reminder.
Yeah.
That's even more powerful.
While he does that, I'll just brag that personally, there was a time in my life where I wanted to be an A&R guy for a rock and roll music label. And if you had asked me, well, give me an example of who that is. I kid you not, like, this is really fun. I would have said, well, Chad Johnson. He was the A&R dude for so many of the bands that I listened to growing up, loved, have tattoos on my body representing. And it's this guy, which is just like so cool that
man,
we're
that is so
in
crazy.
relationship now, which is just bonkers. We've already had that lunch
That is
where
really cool.
I was like, hey, I just have to let you know, like this is crazy to me. and
Like, I
then
know who you are. You
yeah,
really
yeah,
Well,
know
yeah.
who
it's
you're
funny
Yeah.
because when I had avoided LinkedIn for 6 years, I started my account in 2016, and I completely ignored it until like a month ago because I need a job. So the first thought I had was let's go to LinkedIn. And at first I was like, I don't want to talk about anything historical. And of course I realized that my engagement was just like,
Yeah, yeah.
not, and then as soon as I start talking about bands, it's like, I'm like,
Yep.
all right, all right.
Because
I
LinkedIn's
see
like,
how it
who is this
is.
guy? And
Yeah.
then you start putting it together. It's like, all right.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
Which, by the
guys, you
way,
got me.
Yeah.
if you're a LinkedIn person, Chad is killing the LinkedIn. He's
I'm
some
just
of the
having
most.
fun, dude.
You're having
That's all I'm
fun,
doing.
but like that's what
It's
LinkedIn's
all a
missing.
game.
It's what LinkedIn's missing, and you're creatively
It's
engaging.
true.
He's doing like a fantasy A&R guy, like choosing bands, like fantasy football, but with bands
Yeah,
on
it's
LinkedIn
fun.
every Wednesday.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
it's
that's
super cool, and the
fun.
community is really engaging. It's super fun.
it is
So
fun.
anyway, okay,
It's basically it's like how can I distract myself and make myself laugh while ignoring all the important work of job hunting?
that's right.
That's the
I
that's the
get it.
mission.
I
Yeah,
get it.
I'm
Well,
succeeding wonderfully so
this
far.
is not Seth Godin related, but I would love to see you post, Chad. I heard on NPR this morning that Radiohead, they only topped the top 100 charts like a couple of times when they were in their peak, and it was mainly with the song "Creep."
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But then now they're back at the top 100 because one of their songs from the 90s was featured on the show The Bear.
no.
And then through TikTok, it's gone viral again. So that would be fascinating for you to like unpack. Like, how did that happen? And what are opportunities for other bands that are like still around but aren't popular anymore for them to like come back for the millennial nostalgia people
Sure.
like us?
Well,
And then we'll do a
So
podcast
anyway,
called
there's a fun
Chad's,
fact for
and then we'll do Chad said what?
Chad said, Seth, what?
you.
Yeah, no. No, that's a great question, and that's really cool for
Okay, but
Radiohead.
let's jump. Oh yeah.
There's a
Do you
little
want me
bit
to
of
answer? Do you
Yes,
want me to
right?
answer?
Okay, let's jump in.
well,
Well, no, because I unfortunately have to pick up my daughter from daycare in like
okay.
15 minutes. So
All
we
right.
should
Let's
probably
do it.
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this
no,
Seth
we should.
article.
Is it cool?
Way better.
And our side is a little unstable because we're just rocking on my hotspot. But would you mind reading the blog and then we'll do our reaction?
Yeah, let's do it. And I will say today is a bit unique. He's doing what Seth does sometimes where there's like a topic that he's really passionate about, like a global topic, and then he kind of relates it back to business at the end. So hang with me.
Okay.
Okay, it's called Poison. Don't swallow polonium 210. You won't last long and it won't be pleasant. There are poisons all around us, the arsenic in your rice, the drain cleaner under your sink. Also, some poisons are impossible to avoid, and it's not productive to live a life that's poison free. But it might be worth considering 3 questions when we think about poison. Question number 1: how fast does it act? There's a difference between a bowl of brown rice and taking up base jumping. Question number 2: who else does it harm? Poisons that we spread to others are less moral than the ones we expose ourselves to. Question number 3: how much does it cost to avoid? What do we have to do to our systems, our expectations, and our methods to avoid this poison? This analysis makes it clear that banning gas-powered leaf blowers is a no-brainer. They are instantly noisy and noxious, and they make more of an impact on our climate than just about any item in our garage, and they do so quickly. They harm others at least as much as they harm the user, and avoiding their use is convenient and saves money. In addition to actual physical poisons, most of us wrestle with the emotional and spiritual poisons that are dumped in front of us every day. Persistent systems are good at sticking around, and that's true even when they're bringing actual poison with them. As we seek to build a more resilient path forward, perhaps it pays to experience the short term discomfort associated with fixing a dangerous system now rather than living with the poison it creates over time. So, pretty heavy one today, kind of talking about from I know Seth is very passionate about global, like climate, caring for our climate, but related it back to business there. That last part about maybe it's worth dealing with the short-term discomfort associated with fixing a dangerous system now rather than living with the poison it creates over time. Woo! It was a deep one today, guys. Welcome, Chad.
Man, that is a deep one. I'm still trying. I'm reading the summary to see if that gives me anything. I mean, I guess my first thought is I'm really blown away now as a huge celebrity on LinkedIn with a whopping 300 followers. I'm blown away that he continues to post blogs on his own blog. That to me is like shocking because it's so counterintuitive to what everyone's doing to try to get attention. And so anyway, that has nothing to do with poison, but it's the first thought in my brain. Seth, go.
Yes. Well, and he's adamant about that. He has a Substack that literally says, and he already has like thousands of followers on it, of course, where
Yeah.
there's nothing posted, but it says, I actually am not going to be using Substack because I want to own my own thing over on my blog.
Yep.
But it's easy to say that when you have been doing this for, 25 years and have been building it. So,
Well, and we've talked before about, I feel like not long ago he was advising. It was kind of like consider the it was a sunk cost conversation. Like, how long do you continue to invest in the mistake instead of just calling it what it is and moving on? Is that true, Holly? We talked about that not long ago.
yeah.
And
Yes.
and I feel like it's kind of similar. Like the poison metaphor is strong, of course, but most of us wrestle with the emotional, spiritual poisons that are dumped in front of us. Um, are we going to seek to build a more resilient path forward? Perhaps it pays to experience the short-term discomfort associated with fixing a dangerous system now rather than living with the poison it creates over time. And I just have to admit, like in wrestling with like a legacy organization that has a lot of systems in place, as they age, they can, I think, even though they were built to stand the test of time and to serve the mission, over time they can become noxious and become poisonous if you're not willing to find the fresh. Like it's
Yeah.
like still water. It's like
Yeah.
you need moving water to you don't want to drink the stuff that's been sitting there and just like
So
getting gross and
my dog
poisonous.
doesn't mind it, but yeah. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and to
that's what
me,
comes yeah.
yeah, to me, Daniel, that starts with leadership, right? And that's always front of mind for me around like the people part of it. And I think like the three questions I think apply to like who are the people that are toxic in your organization, right? So like how fast do they act? They're often the fast, negativity moves faster than positivity always. Second, who else do they harm? Because I think a lot of times, especially if they're like the brilliant jerk that's like, oh man, they're really crushing their goals. We can't imagine removing them from the situation. But we have to think about the opportunity cost of the people that they're bringing down in the meantime. And then how much does it cost to avoid when we delay on removing those toxic people from our organizations or our life? There's a cost that comes
Yeah.
with that. So that's what was front of mind for me was the more people part of it.
Yeah. Wow. You mean you've worked with that brilliant poisonous person too? Have you helped?
Hypothetically
That's
speaking,
crazy.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
the
Mhm.
three main questions: how fast does it act? Who else does it harm? How much does it cost to avoid? It's like the man. If I just started asking myself those questions related to where I'm at in life and some of the either negative, I don't necessarily think of people as the poison around me, but maybe more like the mindset. Like it's really easy as someone who's 51 and back in the career
Sorry,
hustle.
we're gonna strike that from the record too. We gotta go back.
Yeah, strike it, strike it.
Sorry, keep going.
It's just it's too easy to let my mind swallow that poison of like, well, I've already hit my peak. I've already accomplished my best. I will never find the what's awesome. Just all
Mm,
that stuff that I thankfully don't. I feel like I have had an amazing reset with, but it does from time to time pop up, especially after an interview that I maybe thought went great and then it doesn't. And it's like, oh, it's like I have to stop poison like in my mind from taking me places
Yeah.
where that isn't going to help anyway. And it's not, who wants to work with someone who's like, well, I'm already so defeated and
mm.
I probably won't accomplish anything good for you. It's like, man, see ya.
Oh,
And
It's
interview
like, dude,
over.
you
no.
canceled yourself, bro.
That is so good though.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Like just to say this real quick, three brains reading the same blog. I thought organizationally, you thought person wise, and you were
I
thinking
thought
the
mindset.
internal,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Yeah.
like Seth's just a dude, but
Yes,
I love
and
how rich the content can be that where
Yeah.
we can all pull different.
It's
it's
totally your
so
boss talking.
true,
That's
and
right. That's
Yes.
weird.
yeah, and Chad, thank you for your vulnerability there.
Yeah.
I have personally not read this book, but have you heard of David Brooks's book, The Second Mountain?
No. Uh-oh. Making another book.
Um,
Mid mid
Check it out
midstream
because
podcast. Podcast
yeah,
reminders. What's the
The
Yes.
second mountain.
The second mountain. Nice.
David.
Yeah, so I believe, I'm pretty sure that it's basically about what you're going through right now,
Oh
which
wow.
is like kind of the second part of life of like, um, let's see. Yeah, 4 commitments that define a life of meaning and purpose to a spouse and family, to a vocation, to a philosophy or faith, and to a community.
Ooh.
Um, so it's about personal fulfillment, and I think it's called the second mountain because it's basically like, okay, I've already peaked. Like, yeah,
Climbed
I've
one
peaked the
Yeah.
mountain.
first. Now climbing the second mountain. So anyway, I've heard raving reviews about it, and
Cool.
yeah, he's
I
an
just
amazing.
finished Unreasonable Hospitality, speaking of Radiohead and the Bear. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for a new
She's
book.
a
So this is
huge.
great.
We actually talked with. Actually,
Yeah.
we talked with our first guest, your guest number 2,
Wow,
a few
nice.
weeks ago about that book. So that's
Nice.
crazy. It's
It's
Oh,
awesome.
so
low
good.
battery.
Yeah. So we better wrap up this short podcast because
Yep.
my computer's about to die. But Chad,
Well,
we did
Yeah.
not know this was
No,
like
this was
30
a
seconds in
this was
front
an
before this.
extra. I just thought I was
but-
getting lunch, and I got Holly
So
and Seth Godin and Epic Miami. It's great.
yeah.
Epic
Well, I'm
Miami.
gonna have FOMO while you guys have lunch. But Chad, it was so good to officially meet
Yeah, you
you,
too, Holly. Thanks.
and we are cheering you on in this next chapter.
I
I
appreciate
have a hot take that you should not look for a job somewhere. You should create your own job because you are too
Ooh,
talented
I love that.
to go.
Well, now
Yeah,
that we came
so
up with my tagline, I think I'm ready.
Yeah,
So that's
there
all
we
I
go.
you're
need.
ready.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
thanks, Holly.
You're ready to go climb that second mountain.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good lunch. I'll talk to you later.
Mix-
See ya.
Bye. That's so fun.